on Baseball Tonight. We are leading off with who else? Barry Lamar. First at bat of the night, facing Brad Penny of the Dodgers. Bonds stepping in, 703 career home runs, make it 704.
The baseball world is okay now. Barry Bonds has hit a home run this year.
And with that RBI, tied for 10th on the all-time list with Yaz, 1,844. And then, of course, you got to have his first intentional walk of the season, right?
Oh, stop it.
And then he was pulled from a 4-4 game in the ninth, walking gingerly on that knee. Mike Jacobs, remember him?
He's going to be starting a lot of ball games towards the end of this season. This kid can hit.
Mets 4-0 behind Pedro Martinez, who outduels John Smoltz. 10 strikeouts for Pedro. Reds and Pirates, game one of a doubleheader, and this is scary. Humberto Cota, the elbow to the head of Sean Casey, who was down for several minutes, taken off on a stretcher.
That's a very tough play for a first baseman. You got to be very careful how far into the line you go. I've seen dislocated shoulders and, unfortunately, a bad head injury there.
Yeah, diagnosed with a concussion. Rockies D-backs and Zach Day, second, or the Ryan Howard, rather. This is the Phillies Marlins, and Damian Easley going out for the cutoff, and that, no contact. He just goes down awkwardly, but it's at least a sprained right ankle.
Looked like he turned his ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going for the baseball. A lot of times, just the roll of the ankle is the problem.
And you see the football field, too, there in Miami. And this is the Zach Day play where on his third pitch of the game takes a line drive off the right thumb. It is broken, and he is done for the season. And with that, hi there. Good to have you along with Baseball Tonight. Scott Reese, Jeff Brantley, and Orestes Destrade. Believe it or not, there were some players who emerged unscathed from this crazy Friday in baseball. And the Tigers and Angels playing a good ball game in Anaheim. Bottom four, Benji Molina, little grounder. Omar Infante knocks it down. Now, Garrett Anderson going to try and score, but Placido Polanco is Placido on the spot.
Garrett hasn't been that healthy this year. I don't know if that was the smartest move.
Top three, Brandon Inge off the foot of John Lackey. Sean Figgins recovers.
How about that play? Bounces off of him, bare hands it in midair, and throws a cannon.
And, you know, Carlos Pena remembered how to hit when he went to AAA, didn't he? 13th of the year, he has been knocking the cover off the ball since the recall. 6-4 Detroit, but here comes Vladdy, who was questionable with that bum shoulder.
Wrong with that shoulder when he can hit that pitch.
Orlando Cabrera in, ties the game at 6. Ninth inning we go. Bases loaded, 2 outs for the Tigers. K-Rod, Brandon Inge. I think he's pumped.
Gets himself in trouble, gets himself out of trouble.
So they play on. A's, Red Sox, this one delayed an hour 37 by rain, but they would get one in and then some. In the 6th, and Poppy.
Tell you what, watching both of these guys, Joe Kennedy and Tim Wakefield, pitching in this mess of weather, they did an outstanding job keeping their respective teams in the ball game, and you see all the way to the 10th inning, this game was tied.
Well, here it is. It's 2-2. They walk Ortiz to get to Manny Ramirez.
What did you say?
They walk Ortiz to get to Manny Ramirez. And Manny doesn't have to do anything. The walk-off hit by pitch is the game winner. First time that's happened in baseball since August of '02. Randy Johnson looking for win number 15 against the Jays.
Look at those eyes.
Look at that. Reed Johnson, leadoff man, takes one off the body and then walk to Frank Menachino. Control problems early. Mel says, you know, somebody go out there and calm him down. Next batter, oh goodness. Vernon Wells, 26th of the year, 30th home run Johnson has allowed, ties a career high.
Nothing more frustrating than throwing a strike and then the next pitch the guy takes you deep. I guarantee you Randy's not happy with that pitch there. And it looks like to me when you watch it from Randy's perspective, he's talking to his catcher. The next thing you know, Colbreth is out there. He says that Randy cursed at him. Well, he said, she said, the bottom line is Randy's headed to the locker room.
51 pitches, shortest outing since 1993.
Evidently, it made the Yankee hitters mad because they got after it after that.
Yeah, apparently it did. Robinson Cano goes deep, 5 RBI for him. Yankees up 5-3, and then A-Rod, 43rd, and the Yanks are up 8-3. They were up 11-3 at one point, but here come the Jays.
Only problem with your starter getting out of the ball game early is you've got to go to the part of your bullpen that normally is not in the ball game this early. You're going to your 14th, 13th, 12th guy. they finally do get to Mariano.
Well, they get their number 1 guy, and he ends it 11-10. The Yankees pick up a full game, or keep pace, I should say, with the Red Sox in the AL East. And there you have the Saturday probables. It'll be Bronson Arroyo for Boston against Danny Herron of the A's, and it's once again Chacon versus Chacin.
You like that one, don't you?
I do. It's one letter, but it's a big, big difference. And so Randy Johnson, what happened there with the unit? I mean, 51 pitches and he gets tossed, and obviously frustration played a part.
Well, I think he was frustrated, obviously, with the calls that were there. And you're not supposed to argue pitches, but I never saw anything that would show up the umpire Felton Culbreth in this circumstance. There may have been some words exchanged, but in today's environment in baseball, you've got to be able to at least say something about where the pitch was. The pitch outside? Was it inside? Where was the pitch? So you know in the following innings or down the line, you know that that pitch is not going to be called a strike. I didn't see Randy Johnson waving his arms. I didn't see him kick dirt. He didn't throw his glove or take his hat off. All he said was, where was the pitch? And now you've got a circumstance where we're deep into September. Your number 1 starter is out of the ballgame in the 2nd inning, and we're in a pennant chase when you're talking about the New York Yankees. I think this was way premature for an ejection for Randy Johnson.
And another thing about with Randy Johnson, though, is that he pitches well when he's intense like that. So it's actually not a bad thing to see him get that intense. He doesn't need to stay in the game. I like it, too. I like
can't stay in the game, you can't pitch well.
I feel sorry for who he faces next time.
Exactly.
That's a fair point, and maybe they even bring him back now on short rest. They have that option. Royals, Indians, Eric Wedge. You got to read the media guide to figure out who the Royals are. Casey Blake, we know who he is. 2-run home run, 21st, and the Tribe with a 2-1 lead. Their very next batter is Grady Sizemore, who has been relatively huge for this team.
When you start looking at the top of this order, Sizemore and Coco Cripps, not only does Sizemore hit the ball out of the ballpark, but he gets on base a lot. Coco Cripps creates some tremendous excitement. And look at this double play. What great defense for Bob Wickman. He has been absolutely fantastic closing out ball games for the Indians.
42 saves. Tribe win at 3-1. How about the Chi Sox feeling the heat? Carl Everett. And here comes Jock Jones, just your nightly Twins outfield gem. Bottom 4, Jones doing it with a stick.
Well, this White Sox club has got to start having a feeling of urgency. They have got to move this ball club into a place where they feel like they can win every ball game as they did earlier in the season, or they may not get to the playoffs. And they had a 15-game lead.
In the 10th inning, Joe Creedy, the infield single for the go-ahead run, and Bobby Jenks with 100 on the gun to close it out.
So Dustin Hermanson in the pen waiting. They stuck with Bobby Jenks and his speed.
And it was the right call as they get the victory. So Cleveland's still 4.5 back of the Chicago White Sox. And in the wild card chase, it's the Indians by a half game over the Yanks and now 4 over the Athletics. Due up on baseball tonight, we will talk about the National League wild card picture, which seems to shift on a daily basis. Big game between the Phils and the Marlins. And, oh yeah, the big bats are back. Guys like Bonds and Bagwell, and both
Bagwell
made an impression on this day. Nationals, Padres, hey, look who's back. Jake Peavy returning from shoulder stiffness. You'd figure that'd be good news for the Pods, but
Power sinker.
no power there. Christian Guzman.
hanging sinker.
Finally.
Sinker has got to sink. That ball was flat.
It was not.
Vinny Castilla, Gary Bennett in. It's 2-1 Nats. Bottom 5, John Patterson. Oh, the cat-like quickness. Makes the catch and then doubles up Robert Fick.
That's just straight self-preservation when you move out of the way of a ball like that.
Nationals win 5-1. All those Padres leaving the door open. Brewers and Stros top 8 of a 1-1 game. Brad Lidge, Carlos Lee. Power versus power, but he pulls the string on him. And then he gets Jeff Jenkins to end it. So it sets the stage. Bottom 9, pinch hitter Jeff Bagwell.
Who?
Mr.
Jeff Bagwell.
Astro.
You remember him.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I do.
Used to hit a lot of home runs.
Guy I could never get out.
Well, you know what?
Neither can that guy either.
Right there.
How about Bagwell with a game-winning hit, his first knock since May 2nd.
You know what he's saying right there? Don't hit my shoulder. Don't hit my shoulder.
Don't touch the shoulder. So what about the Phils and the Marlins? Jimmy Rollins, 21-game hit streak coming in, longest in the National League.
Can he stand more on the plate?
3rd inning, right field, and you know what? The streak is alive because Juan Encarnacion.
When you stand that close to the plate, a lot of times pitchers have a lot of difficulty getting that ball inside, and you see here again, Jimmy Rollins hits a rocket down the line, almost hits another ball out of the ballpark, and what happens is instead of hitting the inside corner, the ball runs back over the plate and you get crushed as the pitcher.
Speaking of crushed, 13-3 is your final, so the Phils a half game back in Houston, the Marlins now a game and a half back, and the Nationals will not go away.
Phils have to keep winning because they've got to go to Atlanta after Florida.
As we go beyond the box score, a couple of big names made big returns and really had an effect today.
Oh, man, they had some great effect, and it was good to see it. I mean, this is good for baseball to see two of these guys, the two killer bees, and definitely Barry Bonds is one of them. He hit his home run today, as I said earlier, what's a season without a Barry Bonds home run in it? I mean, it was great to see. He just missed one the other day. He comes up over here, hanging little curveball, hammers it to the spot that he loves to hit, that he knows so well. Everybody went crazy. And you know what? The Giants, I don't think they're going to make it. But if they don't, Barry Bonds is still going to have a lot to do with who's going to win. And Jeff Bagwell. This guy shouldn't even be playing, guys. This guy's had a huge shoulder surgery. His teams love it for the fact that he's still in this game. So I'm impressed that he's even pinch hitting. This is phenomenal.
You know what? If the Astros win that wild card by one game,
that could be it.
And say, even if it's just one at bat, Bagwell making a difference. And how about this difference? Dodgers and Giants, 4-4 game. Somebody's picking up a full game on the Padres, and it would be the Giants with a broken bat single by Todd Linden in the bottom of the ninth inning.
They're not out of it yet, I guess. This is the wild.
Well, there you have it, and it would have been a little more interesting had the Dodgers won. It would have been 4.5 as it stands. Both teams
win a division
5.5 back. Sure you can, and we're going to very likely at this point we're going to see that as the Pod's still 2 games under. Due up on baseball tonight, a lot of good defense to show you. We will count down the top 5 web gems, but first, Trey Wingo, do tell us what's coming up on NFL Live. We count them down, the defensive dandies. You know them as Web Gems. Number 5, and you can't say enough about what Grady Sizemore does for this team offensively and defensively.
Sacrifice your body, baby.
He's young.
Hey, they want to win.
Jock Jones, another regular on the Web Gem portion of our program, coming on, and it's routine with him.
You know, Torrey Hunter's down, Jock Jones is in.
Got to have a Twins outfielder every day.
How about this play right here? This is unbelievable. Off the shoot top. Kick saving a beauty to the hand, to first base, and they got it.
Flush Gem, Sean Figgins. That's 1-5-3 for scoring
a hard play.
Red Sox and a combo Web Gem. Edgar Renteria, Tony Graffinino. Nice.
Did you see the water spraying off of that ball, and they were still able to make a barehanded double play with Graffinino in the throw to first base.
And number 1, Ryan Friel.
This is the play right here.
This is a tough double play to turn. Gets him, and
that is beautiful. Go flying.
The flying Walendas right there.
Reds and Bucks split a doubleheader. Wow. Tonight's best among the contenders as we hunt for October. Jimmy Rollins now with a 22-game hit streak. Robinson Cano, 5 RBI, first major leaguer this season to do it in consecutive games. First Yankee rookie to do it since divisional play began. And John Garland, a no decision, but he pitched well, 8 innings.
They needed Garland to come out tonight and pitch the way he did. The White Sox have got to have him and Burley turn it up.
That'll do it for baseball tonight. For the Big O and the Cowboy, I'm Scott Reese.